Hello everyone, welcome to week 13 of our Robinhood investing adventure as we go. So let's go ahead and first start. We had a couple great big events happening this week. So as soon as I bought these cryptocurrencies, I think Saturday morning, over Sunday and Monday, the Bitcoin, which is the main cryptocurrency, like plummeted and lost billions of dollars in just those 2-day period, which then brought down the whole cryptocurrency market. Now it does look like it's rebounded a little bit, and I had lost, out of the $100, I think these two were only valued at like $70 or something, maybe 75, just for the earlier this week. So that's never a good starting point. But it does look like it's bounced back, and so I have changes to my share, and as you know, I put about $48 and a couple pennies here. So Dogecoin has dropped down a little bit, and then we have Ethereum, and that was a $50 buy, I believe. So that one's gone back up a little bit, so not too bad. And then if we go and we look at our stocks, well, kind of what happened this week is I got an email because I do have Fitbit, like I have a actual product Fitbit on my watch. So I got an email and it said, hey, we've been bought by Google, and gave this real nice long letter and thought that was great. And that was the end of that. It was like the customer service and continuing buying their products, blah, blah, blah. So that was from because I had a Fitbit watch and I was a registered user of the products. So then when I went to open up and check on my Robinhood account, it was totally blank. Like it had the Fitbit symbol, the FIT, and then there wasn't anything there. So I had to Google to find out what was happening to the stock price. So what happened is Google actually closed on the sale on Thursday, I believe. And so they just simply cashed out and paid all the stockholders. So it took a day or two for it to process. So you'll see here on Robinhood, I no longer have Fitbit listed because, and that's the reason why Google bought them. It officially closed. Google paid cash out for all of the stocks as of the stock price. I think it was roughly about the same of what I bought it. So when I did my math, and Robinhood didn't give me any notices or anything. The only thing I could do was look at my buying power, and it was $28.45. And I know last week it was $2.07. So I subtracted it out, and it meant that I got paid $26.38. And as you know, I put $25 in. So, I made $1.38 profit. The other lesson to learn about this, well, I guess the lesson to learn about this is I should have Googled it before I bought the company, because if I had Googled it, I would have known that Google actually put in a bid to buy Fitbit like in 2019. It just took them so long to get approval through the different, I can't remember if it was which federal government organization. And they're still going after them. There's still claims that there may be too much monopoly power by, or not monopoly power, that Google can take all the personalized data from Fitbit users and sell that, and that may be illegal or something. But anyways, and that they were planning to buy them. I don't think anybody knew it was going to take a year and a half for it to actually happen. So the stock price would not have fluctuated a lot anyways, knowing that that was impending. So had I done my research at the beginning and had known that, I wouldn't have bought the company, or I wouldn't have bought the stock, because I don't believe that the stock would have fluctuated any more than that. Like it went up a little bit. I think it went up to 705, but it was really staying in the the upper $6 range anyways. There wouldn't have been potential room for growth, right? So why would I have bought the stock? So that being said, the good news is now I have $28.45 to spend on a different stock. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. I haven't found a stock yet, so I'm just going to do my research during this week and find maybe one or two stocks I may be interested in, and probably just narrow it down to one stock, with it being about $25, and then we'll leave some extra cash in there for that buying power. All right, so if we go and look at the rest of it, we look at the equity. I think Tesla was up to $50 for my share, and it's $49. Facebook is still dropping. Kind of disappointed about that one. But then we have Starbucks and the Acaba Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, overall, like I looked at my main brokerage account that I have with TD Ameritrade and such, and so it's kind of holding steady. It's going up a little bit, going down a little bit, and just a couple $1,000s, but not a whole bunch. Fluctuating a whole lot this week, especially with the inauguration and the change in leadership, and a lot of I have read from several analysts or several personalities in the money financial world that the stocks are going to fall, the bubble's going to burst this year. So with that caution, no one can predict the future. Just one thing to do is make sure you may not want to put a big chunk of money in at one time. If you have a chunk of money, you may want to divide it out and spend take a year or 10 months to actually deposit the money into the stock market. That way, if it falls, the stock market overall falls, you can actually buy more shares of stock when the market falls, and so that's going to make your portfolio better. If you spend $5,000 and you just put it all in one stock and then it falls, it could take you a long time to recover your money back at that initial point, let alone make any profit or any growth off of that. So anyways, that's up to you. It's your own decision. But just to know, if that's what a lot of analysts are kind of predicting, that there may be a bubble burst and such, then people are a little bit slower about putting in the stock market. But on the other hand, a lot of people are just saying it's going to keep going up, so better put your money in now before it gets any higher. So those are just, anytime you're investing, as I said, no one can predict the future and what's going to happen. But those are just decisions you have to make. And as I think I have told many, many times, I'm a long hauler, so I will put money in and just leave it for 10, 20 years if I want to. I have Dollar General in my brokerage account, my retirement account, and I bought it when I was an employee there 11 years ago. So I'll hold it. I think I had Coca-Cola. It was probably the first stock that I bought out of college in 1998 or 1999, and I held it for almost 20 years. I just sold it a couple years ago. I was like, I don't need to hold this one anymore. But the second stock I probably bought, it was Procter & Gamble, and so I've held onto that probably for 20 years at this point as well. So it's fine, it's a good stable company and such, and living in Cincinnati, I was obviously knew people who worked there, was familiar with the company strategy at the time, and it's just a good solid company to have from my perspective. Now, I haven't really kept up with any of their strategies recently or anything, but it's a good dividend paying stock as well, so that's a value as well. And especially now with the pandemic, it's all the household consumable stuff like toilet paper and tissues and shampoo and diapers and all those things. So the company's actually done pretty well in the last year as far as that goes. So anyways, okay, I think that's going to wrap me up. So I will, as I mentioned, I've got $28.45 to spend, so I'll do some research this week. As I mentioned, I'm not going to go back into cryptocurrencies. I'm going to just kind of let that ride and see what happens. But I will find another stock to replace our Fitbit, and hopefully, last week we had 231, it looked like. Or I'm sorry, 133.07, but I added $100. So technically my overall balance went down, since it should have been 233.07 with that extra $100 added to it. So hopefully, and that's still like a great return. So let's do 3 months, because I hadn't bought it yet. I was still at zero here. So when you do that and you roll it out here, it'll show you that the past 3 months my return has been plus 12.95%. So that's still pretty good. As I mentioned before, the average market is about 8% over the entire life of the U.S. stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, the main exchanges and such. So we're still beating that, so that's a good thing at this point. All right, have a great day, and we'll see you next week.